In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use our ConDoc tools to automate the creation of CAD background drawings that you can share with your consultants, and they'll never even know that you're using Sketchup. Let me show you. All right, so this is an ADU project, an accessory dwelling unit project here in Denver. It's just up the street from our office, and we've actually gotten pretty far along in the permitting process. We're close. But we did have to make just a few little tweaks, kind of scooting a few roof lines over to dodge the bulk plane, and then also adhering to some of the rules on the square footage. So you can see that we've made some of these changes, I've clouded them, and now it's time to re-export our backgrounds for the consultants because our structural engineer needs to make a few tweaks. So this is our SketchUp model, and let me just give you a brief overview of that, and then we're going to use our ConDoc tools to set up all of our different background drawings. So in here you can see that we do have, like if I unhide everything, we have this like earth layer. I can hide that. You can see that our bulk plane, I keep that on our backgrounds layer. So I'm just going to turn off our backgrounds. So that's up top here. Turn that off. And then you can see we have like our barriers layer, and then there's another one I wanted to turn off just to give you a cleaner picture here, and that's going to be always off. So always off, you can see that there's this alternative concept with a staircase on the outside, and also on that always off layer, you can see that I was kind of keeping my square footage counts in there. So that's how I calculate my square footage when I'm really refining this thing down. All right, so enough about kind of the setup of the model. Let's get to the big idea here, which is creating our background drawings. In order to create those background drawings, we need some scenes. So the first thing I want to do is on my ConDoc toolbar is load up a new drawing set. And when I click on that folder icon, it brings me right into our default drawing sets. And you can see that we have one here called ConDoc Labs Backgrounds. So I'm going to choose Open. And what a drawing set does is it reprograms ConDoc to do a different trick. And of course, you can use our configurator tool to write your own drawing sets and really dig in deep with this. But I've already included the background drawing set with default ConDoc. You've already got it. If you have ConDoc, you can do this. So all we need to do is go to our plan generator, and we're going to create some plans. And so you can see that we only have two plans. This one drawing set, it just does this one trick really well. It creates all of our different background drawing scenes that we're going to need to export to 2D graphics. All right, but let me explain just a little bit more about how this works. Let me hide everything here, just kind of get the barriers out of the way. And I'm going to show you that the origin point here, if I right click on this and the reset is grayed out, that lets me know that's like the base origin. That is the SketchUp origin. I'm going to use my tape measure tool, tap the up arrow key, and measure from 0, 0, 0 straight up, and I want to know these different levels, what heights they are. So you can see one is at like 1'2", and then the top floor is at 11'2". All right, so we're going to add a level, and I'm going to set my levels to be at 11'2", and then we're going to do 1'2", like that. And for this particular exercise, we really just need our background plan. So everything's set up. I'm just going to click Design. This is kind of a safe way to run any of these ConDoc tools. Just get all your layers turned on and get everything to be unhidden. I might do that too, Shift-H. And then we're just going to run our background plan. All right. Now, before I run that, let's take a look at our scenes. You can see that we have all of our other ConDoc scenes that are synced up and linked over into layout. But watch what happens. Setup project. Look at all of these scenes that ConDoc creates. It is a massive amount of work to do this manually. Even if you build a template, it's still a huge hassle to have to work this out. ConDoc does it on the fly for every project. So look at all of these different scenes. You can see our background plan 01, and it goes all the way down through 02. And it dropped a section cut, it chose a style, it set everything up for us. Now, I can tell you that this drawing set is set up to create existing, new, and demolished. And we really only need new because this is a new construction project. So I'm going to take just a moment and I'm going to clean out the scenes that we don't need, which you don't have to do. I just like to run a real tight ship over here and make sure that I only have what I need in my drawing. So let's do that. Okay, so we've got all of our scenes cleaned up, and let's close out our plan generator, and now we can take a look at what we've got going on in here. So I'm going to go to the most obvious background plan would be walls. So I'm going to look at background plan 01 walls, and check it out. It's set up, ConDoc runs a zoom extents, so it kind of gets everything that's in our model on our screen, which is all good. You know, that's a very good thing, because when we do our 2D graphic export, we need all of the plan on the screen. And even though we don't really need our Earth, our Earth export for our background drawings, it doesn't hurt to have the viewport set up where it is. This is just fine. So there's our new walls, and then we have new floors, and we have new windows, new doors, fixtures, no furniture, equipment, and 01 column. And you can see we just have that one column. All right, and then let's just take a quick lap through, we have our foundation and our stairs. So these are all the different exports. Okay, so now next we have on the second floor, the exact same thing happening. No electrical, barriers not exactly, and no beams, but walls are kind of the obvious. And let me just orbit around and take a look at this. And you can see that this is level 2, and it's running that section cut at 11'2", and then it comes up off the finished floor another like 3 or 4 feet, 4 feet. So all of that is completely configurable within ConDoc. But these are the scenes that we've created, and what we need to do now is to export each one of these scenes as a 2D graphic. All right, so I'm gonna go in and let's go to new walls. All right, and I'm only gonna export the ones that we need. If something's empty, I'm not gonna export it. But I suppose you can make a case that you would just export them all no matter what, but I think it's better just export what you need. We're gonna build the drawings, and those are gonna be all bundled up and easy to send over to our consultants. Okay, so we're on our new walls, and I'm gonna go to File, Export, 2D Graphic. So File, Export, 2D Graphic. I wanna make sure that I don't disrupt my camera view, because it is important that we use the exact same camera view for each one of these exports. And so you don't want to orbit or anything like that, and you don't want to really mess with just one of these scenes. Leave them all alone, and ConDoc already took care of it for you. All right, so now I'm going to go to our visualization projects, and we're going to go to, this one is our ADU, and under exports, I'm going to create a new folder. Control-Shift-N is a shortcut for a new folder inside of, in Windows, and we're going to call this current backgrounds, like that. All right, and we're going to leave that folder alone for just a moment, and I'm going to make another folder, and I'm going to date it today. And I always date things year, year, month, month, and then day, day. So 20/01/23. Enter. I can hit enter again, and it takes me in there. And then I'm going to rename this as, I'm just going to call it like St. Paul ADU, and I'm going to say 01 walls. So 01 walls, like that. All right, so now another important setting here, make sure that you have your save as type set to AutoCAD DWG, and then under options, I think it's always a good idea to use AutoCAD 2000. For whatever reason, that was just a great version of CAD that was super stable, and also it rewinds far enough back that anyone on CAD should be able to handle an AutoCAD 2000. Whereas if you send them a 2018, guaranteed some consultant's gonna email you and say they need 2010. So I just rewind it back to 2000 because these are really dumbed down simple drawings, just CAD line work, always at full scale, no profile lines, no section lines, and that's it. So those are the settings you need, and once you say okay, those are like your new default settings for each one of these exports. We don't have to check it every single time. All right, so now we're gonna export to this dated folder. We're just gonna name these, we're not gonna date our files, we're just gonna name them 01 walls, the ADU 01 walls, because we don't want these to have a date attached to them. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. So we'll say export. All right, so that's one export. Now, a little trick or a tip is under, Window Preferences, and under Shortcuts, type in 2D. And you'll see that you can filter out and find this Export 2D Graphic. I've added the shortcut F2. You just hit the key, click the plus sign, and it's telling me I already have it. That's fine, but I would highly recommend just throw a keyboard shortcut on there for your 2D graphic export. That way, every time you go down here, you just hit F2, and then we're gonna go to our St. Paul ADU, exports, and again, for today, I'm gonna click on this file to get the name, and I'm gonna call it floors. All right, we'll say export. And then let's do one more for our windows together here, F2. See how now it's set up to just export to this folder every time. So now things start getting much quicker. I can say windows, like that. And then we'll do one more here, F2, and we're gonna call this one doors. All right, what I'm gonna do is run through each one of these exports, hitting F2, giving it a file name, and then we're gonna get them all exported to CAD, and then we should be in good shape. Give me just a moment. Okay, so now that we have everything exported, I can use this ConDoc system dialog and just click on design, and that bounces me right back out to this kind of perfect, lightweight environment, so I don't have to unravel all of the settings that are involved in one of these, in any of our ConDoc scenes. You know, if I go to one of these scenes, I just click design, bounces me right back out. So anyway, click the design button, and now we're back to good. We can work on our model, and I think we're all set up. Okay, so we're in really good shape. We've used our ConDoc tools to automate the creation of all the scenes needed for our background drawings. And the next thing we need to do is import all of those CAD exports and XREF them into one CAD drawing. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next tutorial. If you like this video, click the BD button to subscribe to our channel. Every week we post new videos covering SketchUp, Layout, Lumion, and our ConDoc Tools extension. If you are a professional architect or interior designer, you're going to love our tutorials.